guys, thanks so much for joining me for this prenatal yoga class. While I'm not pregnant right now, I have had 3 of my own babies, my first of which was almost 9 pounds. And so I definitely remember what it feels like to be pregnant and all of the changes that happen in the body throughout pregnancy. And today, what we're gonna focus on is hip opening and strengthening, low back release, and abdominal strengthening. Throughout the entire practice, we're going to focus a lot on breathing. So we're gonna do some different pranayamas. Breathing is great for any yoga practice in general and so beneficial for labor. So this class is being filmed right before Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers-to-be or mothers already. We're gonna start in a seated position. If you are feeling really tight in the hips and have a block, feel free to prop yourself up on a block. Anything to promote a nice tall spine. Before we start our practice today, go ahead and bring your hands onto your belly. Touch your baby, close your eyes. We're gonna begin to connect to our own body and breath, as well as connect to your baby and what's happening in your body. Maybe you can feel your baby. As you begin to deepen your breath, connect to an intention. Breathe in that intention. So breathe in something that you want for yourself, for your baby, for your body, maybe just for this specific practice. And then as you exhale, breathe out something that is not serving you. If you have any apprehension or fear, any sort of distractions, see if you can let that go on the out breath. Again, this will be a good practice for you when you go into labor. And just really coming back to the breath and connecting it to your thoughts and what's happening in your mind and what you want versus what you don't need, what you can let go of. Take 3 more breaths in and out through your nose. Complete your exhale, release your hands to the earth, open your eyes. Go ahead and place your hands behind your hips, tense your fingers, and then go ahead and begin to lift your chest, lift your gaze, open through the front line of your body, and release. And we're going to take a side bend on each side. So reach your arms up overhead, breathe in. Breathe out, come off to your left, reach up and over with your right arm. Come back to center and switch sides. Come back to center, release your hands down and make your way to a tabletop position. Find a long, neutral spine, crown of your head in line with your tailbone. And then let's take some cats and cows. So continuing to warm up the spine. As you breathe in, release your baby down toward the floor, lift the crown of your head. As you breathe out, round your spine, contract your core, draw your baby in, up, chin to chest. And again. With your breath. And then come back to that neutral tabletop position. Okay, so we're gonna build some mobility in the hips as well as strength. So first, extend your right leg straight out behind you, hips level, and always continue to draw your core, your abdominal muscles, tighten. Draw your baby up toward your spine. If you feel balanced, you can lift your left arm straight out in front of you and keep your neck long. Hold here, breathing in and out through your nose. Last breath in. Okay, and with your hand either extended or on your mat, you're just gonna draw your knee in and round your spine. So building some strength in your core, some movement in your hips, hopefully a little bit of a release in your low back as you round your spine. Okay, and again, you can do this with your arm as well, bringing elbow toward knee. Last time. Okay, if your arm is lifted, release it toward or down to your mat. Bend your leg so it's at a 90-degree angle. And then go ahead and just lift your knee so it's in line with your hip. Okay, and release your knee back down, but don't touch your mat. Just lift and lower. Last time. Okay, so now we're just going to make some circles. And just circle your knee. So you're building a lot of strength in your glutes right now. This will help keep you stable in your pelvis. And then last time. All right, extend your legs straight out behind you again. Now bring it to the right in line with your hip. Take your heel behind your toes. We're gonna take a stretch here. So you can tuck your toes under if you'd like, your left toes under. Bring your hip to your heel, walk your hands forward. If your belly is big right now, you need a little more space, feel free to bring your left knee off to the left, allowing your baby to come down towards your mat. Exhale here. Work your hands back up. And then if your toes are tucked, foot flat to the floor, and just give yourself a little push off your hands so you come all the way to a kneeling position, but keep your right leg extended out to the side. From here, we're just gonna take another side stretch. So lift your arms up overhead, and then bring your right hand and slide it down your right leg, stretching through your left side. This is called gate pose. If this is uncomfortable for your ankle, feel free to point your toes to the side. Bring both arms up overhead, and then you're gonna bring your left hand either to the floor or to a block, and you're gonna lift your right leg up. So again, we're building strength and stability in the hip, the glute, the entire leg. Okay, if you don't have a block, it'll just look like hand to the floor. Okay, gently push yourself all the way back up to gate pose, arms up overhead, and then release back to tabletop position. We're gonna do all of those movements on the other side just to even out our right and left side. So go ahead and extend your left leg out behind you. Level your hips, flex your toes down toward the floor, and just be mindful that you're not collapsing your chest down. Okay, so stay strong in your shoulders. And then again, option, if you feel balanced or stable, to balance by bringing your right arm straight out in front of you. Take another breath here. Same thing, your two options, either hand to the floor or elbow to knee, and round your spine. Okay, your choice. Focus on connecting your breath to your movement. Remember, you're building strength in your core, mobility in your hip, maybe a Release in your low back as you round your spine. Continue to hug your baby in, tightening up your core. Last time. You can have your arm extended straight forward in spinal balance and release it down toward the floor if it's not there already. Now, bend your left leg so it comes to a 90-degree angle and flex your foot back. You're gonna just bring that leg straight out to the side. Okay, so your inner thigh is parallel to the floor, and then you're gonna lift and lower. Focus on the strength you're building in your glutes, your hip. Okay, now start circling just feel it out, make it feel good if you have tightness in this area of your body, which if you're pregnant, most likely you do. All right, so go ahead and extend your legs straight out behind you again, bring it off to the side so your foot is parallel with your hip. Place your foot down on the floor, heel behind your toes. We're gonna take a stretch here. Tuck your right toes under if you'd like, or you can keep your foot flat. Walk your hip back to your heel and your hands forward. And again, if your belly's big, just go ahead and scoot your right leg off to the side so you have room to take this stretch. And walk your hands back up. Take that foot flat to the floor if it's not already, and then just give yourself a little push off the floor so you come up to a kneeling position with your right hip over your right knee. We're gonna take gate pose on this side. So again, you can have your toes pointing forward or off to the side. Reach your arms up overhead. Bring your left hand and slide it down your left leg, right arm up and over. Hug your belly in. As you breathe in, feel your ribs expanding on your right side and keep your shoulder in line with your hip. Okay, come all the way back up. Both arms up overhead if you need to give yourself a little push off your leg. And then bring your hand to a block or to the floor, your choice. And you're gonna start to lift your left leg up off the floor. This is essentially a modified side plank. Now point your toes forward and then start to lift your leg a little bit higher so you're getting this strength building here in your left side. You can look down at the floor, up toward your fingers. All right, same thing on this side. Just give yourself a little shove off the floor so you can come all the way back up, arms up overhead, and release. Come and make your way to a downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Start to pedal your feet. So sometimes in a yoga practice, you can actually forget about your core. That's why we, as teachers, give lots of reminders, but I think when you're pregnant, you have to be aware of your core, your baby, because otherwise it's uncomfortable for your spine. So just continue to just hug your baby in, draw your belly button back toward your spine, tighten up all those muscles that are holding your baby. Take one more breath here. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. While you walk your hands, bend your legs a lot. Come into ragdoll. And you can take your legs as wide as you need so that your belly can rest between your legs. Okay, opposite hand to opposite elbow, or if it feels more supportive, hands on the floor or a block. And just focus on the back side of your body, the elongation in your spine as you dangle here. Feel your hamstrings start to open up. One more breath. All right, hands down toward the earth. Start to roll slowly up to a standing position. Keep a slight bend in your legs. Let your arms dangle. Your head is going to be the last thing that arrives. Okay, we're going to do a breath to movement exercise. So take your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart and take your toes out to a slight angle so that your knees and toes are in one line. Breathe in, lift your arms up, and you'll take your gaze up toward your fingertips. So you're expanding the capacity of your lungs, lifting your chest, lifting your gaze. And then as you breathe out, you're gonna come halfway down with a flat back. So we're building spinal strength here. Once you get down to a halfway position, you're gonna flip your palms so they face the earth. Your head is in line with your spine, just like it was in tabletop position. Okay, and again, hug your belly in. So keep your core strong. Bring your arms out in this position in front of you and touch the palms of your hands together. Again, feel the strength building in your shoulders and all along your spine. Okay, from here, and we'll begin to do this breath to movement next time, you're going to actually just dangle down. So a real loose release, like so. Okay, so in this position, you just get to relax and hang, bend to your legs, soft spine, heavy head. Okay. Now from here, come up to essentially a monkey pose with wide legs. So it's a halfway lift. Sweep your arms right back out to the side, and on your breath in, come all the way up. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, halfway down, flip your palms, strong, straight spine. Breathe in, bring your hands forward, connect the palms of your hands. Breathe out, just release, dangle down. Okay, again, breathe in, come up with a straight spine, arms all the way up overhead. This time as you breathe out, you're gonna bring your hands to heart center and just take a little squat. Sweep your arms back up, breathe in. And breathe out, halfway down, flip your palms. Breathe in, hands connect, palms connect. Breathe out, just dangle. Okay, one more time, adding that squat in. So come up with a straight spine, sweep your arms off to the side. Inhale. Exhale, little squat. It's not a deep one, just a little one. Breathe in, up overhead. Breathe out, this time straight spine, halfway down, flip your palms. Breathe in, hands come, palms touch, and release. Dangle here. All right, so keep your right foot wide, right where it is. So slight angle off to the edge of your mat with your hands either on blocks or on the floor. Step your left foot straight out behind you and release your knee down onto the floor. Okay, so this is gonna be a nice release. It's a good hip stretch and it's a release for your low back as well. You've got a nice wide leg, so room for your belly here. Again, utilize those blocks if it's more comfortable to be propped up. If you have the space and your hips are feeling open, you can come down onto your forearms. Extend the crown of your head forward. Toes can be tucked or flat. And I enjoy finding gentle movements here. So don't feel like you have to have a static hold. Take the opportunity to feel around in your body. I know with all three of my pregnancies, man, my low back just took a beating. So this is a great stretch Feel into it. All right, now if you're down on your forearms, come back up onto your hands. Tuck your toes under again, lift your knee. You're gonna bring your left foot to the same position your right foot's in, so you're in a deep squat. So toes point out, knees are wide. If you do need support, feel free to take the support. Now it's true in yoga, the reminder is every single body is different, but in prenatal yoga, your body is different than it normally is. So you have to be very mindful of what's happening, where you are, what's comfortable, what's not comfortable. You have to listen. So make adjustments and modifications. If you had a regular yoga practice prior to becoming pregnant, it's gonna look different now. So just embrace where you are right now. This stretch is obviously great for opening up your hips. Take another breath. Okay, now we're gonna take that stretch on the other side. So again, keep your left foot where it is, and now your right foot goes back. Knee comes down onto the floor. Again, toe tucked or flat, whatever you prefer. Upright, block, forearms. Find some movement. Last breath here. Okay, from here, we're gonna move into some heat building postures, some strength building postures. Again, listen to your body, make modifications that work for your pregnant body right now. And I don't know, looking into the camera here, if you're in your first or third trimester, so you're gonna have to modify throughout your pregnancy as well as your belly grows. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is take forearm plank to build strength in our core. So walk your left foot back. Make sure that your 2 feet are in line with your knees and your hips. Forearms can either be parallel to one another or you can make a triangle shape. If you prefer, take your knees down onto your mat, and we're just gonna hold it for another breath here. Now, option from this position to walk your hands one at a time up to plank position and back to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out through your nose. Okay, walk your right foot between your hands. Make any modifications to make room for your belly here. We're gonna come up to crescent lunge pose. So lift your arms up overhead, wrists right over your shoulders, and then relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Take 3 breaths in and out through your nose. Draw your right hip back so it's in line with your left. Last breath. Okay, we're gonna add some movement here. So breathe in, breathe out, dip your knee down, cactus your arms, opening your chest. And again, just 3 times. Come all the way back up. Release your left heel to your mat and come into warrior 2 pose. Breathing in and out through your nose. Notice what your breath is doing and where your mind goes. So steady gaze, breathe in what you want, let go of what you don't. feeling the strength in your legs, drawing your belly button back. Okay, so with some movement, breathe in, straighten your leg, connect the palms of your hands, breathe out, sink down. Just 3 times. Okay, come up to a 5-pointed star position. I'm just going to turn and face you. Again, toes out, arms up, and then come into a squat. So hands at heart center, hold. Draw your pelvic floor up and in, Mula Bandha. Draw your knees out toward your pinky toes. Okay, breathe in, arms up overhead. And then as you breathe out, come into goddess pose. Perfect pose for a prenatal class. So arms come to 90 degrees, palms face in. Your arms are strong. Feel the energy between your palms. Strength in your legs. And just one more breath here, goddess pose. Just embrace what that means to you, carrying your baby, being strong, being healthy, being connected. Okay, breathe in, back to 5-pointed star with movement. Exhale, hands through heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink. And again. Last time. Now come back to your warrior 2 on your right leg. And then back to reverse warrior. Big breath in, breathe into your right side, stretch back. And then hands to the earth. Step back, down dog. Just take some deep breaths in and out through your nose in this downward facing dog. Feel the heat in your body. So good for you, staying strong, staying active, staying flexible. And just really learning how to monitor your breathing and connect it to your thoughts and your actions. Step your left leg forward. Low lunge. Come up to crescent lunge. Lift your arms up overhead. So this is a balancing posture. This is really good to work on your balance, keeping that back heel lifted. 3 breaths here. Okay, inhale. We're going to add some movement. Exhale, knee down, cactus your arms. Just 3 times. Okay, back up to crescent and warrior 2. Hold here. Steady gaze. Find your alignment with your knee over your ankle. Make sure you can see your pinky toe. Now focus your gaze, but relax your jaw. Okay, with the movement, straighten your leg, palms of your hands connect. Exhale. Exhale, warrior 2. 5-pointed star. Come back to goddess pose. Knees in line with your middle toes. Palms face in. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. All right, 5-pointed star. Take your heels behind your toes. Hinge at your hips. And come down. Standing straddle splits. Enjoy this inversion. With your head below your heart. Slow your breathing down. Stretching and strengthening through the backs and fronts of your legs. And exhale here. Okay, bring your hands below your shoulders. Come up to a halfway lift, so lengthen your spine. It's gonna be another good one for your hips and your inner thighs. So take your right toes out to the right and side lunge to the right. Flex your left toes back. And switch sides. Side bend to the left. Flex your right toes back toward your knee. Okay, come all the way back to that standing straddle splits position. Now you're gonna rise all the way up, 5-pointed star. Return warrior 2 facing the front of your mat. Just like we did on the other side, reverse warrior. Stretch back, focus on the opening in your left side. Hug your belly in. And back to low lunge. Back to down dog. All right, so if you're feeling up for it, you're feeling stable, let's do some balancing. If you want the support of blocks or maybe a chair, if you're feeling a little unstable right now, no worries, you can grab a chair for a little support, okay? So step your right foot between your hands. Come up to crescent lunge, we've already been here before, reaching your arms up overhead. And let's balance in airplane pose. So stepping onto your right foot, reach your arms back, lift your chest. Okay, now from airplane pose, we're gonna continue to balance on our right foot, and we're gonna take a hip opener. So standing pigeon, you cross your left ankle over your right knee, hands to your heart, sink down. Nice hip opener here, still building strength in your right leg and focus because you're balancing on one foot. It's hard enough to do when you're not pregnant. So give yourself a little grace. Okay, now come all the way back up. We're just gonna take staff with left leg bent, reach your arms up, and then come into standing splits. It's gonna be your last push on your right leg. So reach your leg back, hands to the earth or blocks, okay? Blocks here, lift your left leg up. Heel drives toward the ceiling. You've got it for 3, 2, 1. Step back, low lunge. Down dog, pedal it out. Okay, let's balance on the other side. Step your left foot forward. Come up to crescent lunge. And airplane. Take your time. Hands to blocks if you like. Or you can reach your arms back. This is a great strength builder for your triceps, the backs of your arms. So squeeze them if your arms are reaching back. If this is a little too much on the balance, but you're playing with it, you can just kind of tap your toe to the floor, maybe just lift it an inch off the floor. Okay, we're gonna come all the way up. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, standing pigeon. Hands to your heart. It's a great hip opener. So go as deep as is comfortable for you, where you begin to feel this opening in your glute, your hip flexors. All right, back to staff with right leg bent, and then all the way to standing splits. It's fine if you want to put your foot down on the floor on your way. Hands to blocks, hands to the floor, hands to your ankle. But toes point down, heel in line with toes, and then drive your heel up toward the ceiling. All right. step your right foot back. Step your left foot back, down dog, pedal it out. All right, so this is gonna be our last heat building pose. This is so good for you. So you can walk your hands back toward your feet. We're gonna come back into Garland pose, that deep, deep squat. So feet wide, sink your hips down again, sit on a block if you'd like. Okay, so we did this stretch. Definitely practice this posture as much as you can throughout your pregnancy for your hips, for the sake of your hips and your low back. And for all 3 of my labors, I sat on a birthing ball for, I don't know, seems like forever. And this pose would have benefited me prior to my first labor for the hip opening, because I was really, really sore after that. So it's a great one to practice. Keep it in your pocket. All right, so this is strength and heat building in addition to this great stretch you're already getting. So keep your elbows connected to your knees, keep your thumbs connected to your sternum, and just lift and lower your hips. Hug your baby in, hug your belly in. This is so good for your hip flexors. During pregnancy, you have a new awesome hormone called relaxin in your body. So it does relax purposefully your ligaments and tendons and all of those things. So it's so important that you keep them strong as well as flexible. Okay, so last one, doesn't take long till you feel this one, pregnant or not. Okay, come all the way back down. And then place your hands on the floor, blocks, whatever. And then come up with wide legs. You can take your heels back behind your toes and just shake your hips side to side, release any tension. It's a good one. And then place your hands on your hips and then come all the way up to a stand. Take your toes just back out to that slight angle and then make some circles with your hips. Should feel good. Okay, last time in this direction. And just switch directions. We're doing about 5 in each direction. Okay, last standing posture, my favorite, the most grounding of all balancing postures. Let's practice tree pose. Stand on your left foot, bring your right foot either to your ankle, calf, or inner thigh. So, hands to your heart if you'd like, or you can reach them up. Your center of gravity has shifted, your balance is different. This is such a great one to practice building strength and stability in your grounded leg and building focus. So I'm going to stop talking, find a place to look down at the floor, take 5 breaths here. Breathe in what you want, release what you don't. Take your foot back to the floor, just roll out your ankles, shake it out, whatever you need to do. Let go of that side. Stand on your right foot and take your position with your left foot. Whatever position works for you on this side. Hands to your heart or up toward the ceiling or the sky. Tighten up that left quadricep, so lifting your kneecap, and then equal pressure pushing inner thigh into foot and foot into inner thigh. So hug it all in. You can take your hands to your belly if you want. That feels good. One more inhale. Exhale. Release. Okay, let's come down onto the floor. If you have a block, grab it, bring it with you. We're gonna take supported bridge. If you don't have a block, you can take bridge. If bridge doesn't work for you, you can just lay on your back, hug your knee or your heels toward your hips, and just do a little pelvic tilt here, okay? If you got a block, you wanna do it, take it underneath at any height. You can take it to the lowest or the highest height. And then make sure that your block is positioned on the bony part of your tailbone, not the small of your back, if that makes sense. And breathe. This should just free up some space. Just one more breath here in whatever variation you chose. And release. Make your way to happy baby. What a perfect pose for a prenatal class. Okay, so depending on how big your belly is, what's most comfortable, you can hold on to your legs, your feet, and just gentle rock side to side. Visualize your happy baby. Just one more breath here. And then, depending on your size right now, it's not going to be a tight hug into your chest. You can just take a loose grip on your knees, hug them in a little bit. Maybe your knees are closer to one another. It's going to be different every day. Okay, and then release your feet down and take Shavasana on your side. So come into a fetal position. Again, appropriate here. Hug your knees in and then just rest your head on your arm like a pillow, and then take your other hand onto your belly. Just connect here to your baby. Connect to your amazing, amazing body. And just acknowledge here in this moment the commitment that you've made to yourself and to your baby by staying active, staying connected, staying grounded, staying balanced, staying strong. And just settle into your Shavasana. You can let go of your breath. Just relax here. Here as long as you have time for. When it's time, it'll probably come naturally to you, but just gently and slowly press your way up onto your forearm into a seated position. Thank yourself for showing up to your mat. Enjoy this time. Best years of my life. having those babies and being pregnant with them. It's just amazing. So just stay connected and in the present moment with your body, even when things get rough or sore or tough. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart.